Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to Soul Journey series, Instagram series live episode, season 2, episode 5. And I have the pleasure to have here with me today, Fiona Newman. She's going to hop in here very soon. And let me tell you a little bit about Fiona. So Fiona is an Irish mystic and soul coach. Hi, Fiona. I'm just telling everybody a little bit about you. Okay. Hi, Stephanie. So Fiona Newman is an Irish mystic and soul coach, psychic medium, spiritual counselor, mentor, holistic health practitioner, and educator. So she has a lot of hats, and that's just a few of her qualifications. She's been doing this for quite a while. So I'm just super excited today to see if just to chat with her, pick her brain, kind of get some of those anecdotes of somebody who's been in the business for a long time, right? So Fiona, I sent you an invite, so you should be able to kind of see it, accept it. Okay. Oh, that's wonderful, Stephanie. Yes.
What?
This is
Have to turn that camera around. Look at all my plants.
I
There
can't
we go.
see you.
There we go.
Again, I have this video thing, this problem on my phone
Oh,
that
it's
when I'm
non-stop
live,
with
I
me.
can't see the person I'm interviewing. So I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Good. Yes, I can. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Can I get someone's thumbs up? Let me know that you can see both of us, and then we'll just kind of everybody's kind of filing in. Awesome. How's everybody doing?
I can see a few
Thank
familiar
you, Stephanie.
faces popping in.
Oh, thank you, Stephanie. So they can see us both. Once again, I have the pleasure of just talking to myself. If that's okay.
Hi,
I'm
Fiona.
so
I did
happy
a
to
whole
meet you,
class one
Fiona.
time.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
I said I did a whole class one time and realized that I wasn't actually live on the right page. That was
Oh no.
fun.
Yeah, I can't figure out this issue. I can't. So I'm tapped out of my knowledge. But
Well, sometimes I have another
I'll
one
figure it out.
beside me or a pad beside me, and I can read the messages on that if I can't see them up on the screen.
So I can see the messages.
Okay.
I can hear you. I can only just see me on the screen though. That's the only thing.
Oh, can
So
everyone else?
yeah. Oh, that just turned off my camera. There we go.
There we
That
go.
was me. That was me. Don't worry about it. Okay. Yes. So I got thumbs up and confirmation that everybody can see you and me. So we
Okay.
are good. And I know that when I save this live, it will have both of us. So I'm really not worried about that. I've had that happen
Technology,
before.
yeah.
Yes, technology. It's been almost 4 weeks now. I can't figure this
It's my
out.
whole life.
Yeah, I've uninstalled, reinstalled, allowing. Okay, I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. So I think I might have to just. I don't know. We'll figure out. I'm asking spirit for clarity, and I'm asking spirit for guidance. I haven't gotten it yet. So but I know it's coming. So welcome so much, Fiona. Thank you so much. I am just so honored to have you here. I've heard so many good things about you from my friend Kathy Robson, and now Stephanie says that you're one of her favorite mentors. And so you have, first of all, I'm super impressed about just the qualifications that you have and
Well,
the
it's been a
things that
long
you
journey.
that you kind of built and created in your career, right? So I'm just really super curious to hear about you and just the things that you've experienced and just those anecdotes and just those client experiences you've had, right? So, but I think
Thank you for asking me. I'm really happy to be here.
oh,
Thank you.
I feel so honored. I can't wait. I can't wait. I love picking people's brains. I love to get to know them deeply, and I love especially healers and people who are that caliber, right? That have been kind of our mentor status. That there's a few out there, but not too many, right? So it's a pleasure to have you here. So welcome to my Soul Journey series, episode number 5, season 2. I think let's just start with the questions, and then if I feel like I'm called to ask you any additional questions, we can kind of continue that. I also want to respect your time, and I don't want to be here
I'm
too
an
long.
open book. So
All
far
right.
away.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's start with the first question, which is, what would you like to share about your life journey so far that has led you to become a healer?
Wow.
Yeah, very
I
simple,
know.
we know.
Yeah,
Very
I was
surface question,
a little
right?
different growing up. I knew I was different, and I grew up with a granny who was a healer, and she did the tea leaves, and it was kind of the thing that people would come and they wouldn't ever pay her money. They would bring apples or quite often whiskey or Guinness or something like to wet her lips, as she would say. But there
Right.
was always some kind of an exchange. And
Yeah.
then my grandfather was a construction worker by day, but he lived a very shamanic, very to nature life. Like he grew all his own vegetables. And I think I might have known him a little bit better than some of the cousins because he would explain things to me just when we were out gardening, that kind of thing. That now looking back, he was teaching me protection. Like one of the things that he told me, and I tell lots of people this, is we were out in the garden. I was about 10. And you know those beans that are big, fat, thick, hairy beans, but when you pop them open, they're just delicious little sweet beans.
Mm-hmm.
So he explained that that's how we have to be in life. And he would just say things like, people like us have to have that tough exterior. And he did. There was people who thought he was a really tough nut. I never saw that guy. I only saw the guy on the inside. But he would say to me, you know, keep this exterior so that you can stay sweet on the inside, so that you can see the good even amongst all the others. So, like I said, it was a little different growing up. It was when I went to school I realized that not everyone could see things and feel things and know that someone wasn't feeling well. I was about 7 when I realized that if someone was hurting, I would be able to feel what they were feeling. And I really didn't have, anywhere to go. So I was that little weird kid. And then as a teenager, I kind of needed it a few times. I got myself in some situations at parties and stuff like that. And guides would literally come in and say, you need to get out of here and go home. So I would listen if I needed to. But I had it kind of squashed for a while. And my grandmother, the same grandmother, passed just before I came to Canada. And we were preparing to go. And it's almost like when she passed it on to me. Everyone that ever loved her was there when she left. And she kind of left like she lived. But as she passed, I could see like an energy coming out the top of her head. And it was almost like the yellow brick road. And she just kind of took me with her. And it opened up a whole new avenue. And I was kind of lucky that I was leaving home because I could be my weird self on the other side of the world.
Right.
And
Because
I was
nobody
here
knew you,
a
right?
matter
So you
of
could
weeks.
just, yeah.
I was here a matter of weeks and I bumped into my mentor, Winston, and I had been dreaming about him all my life. I'd been dreaming of this man and I had no idea who he was. And when we bumped into each other, there was just this familiar feeling. And he helped me open up and kind of accept who I was. And he mentored me for a long time, like over 24, 25 years. We were best friends. It was quite the journey. But once I could be myself when I got here, then I started, tapping into these healing abilities. And, I started taking things like Reiki and therapeutic touch, and they changed my life completely. And then I was about 32. We joked about, the age of Christ when I opened up and kind of turned away from all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I've always been able to see this guy called Jesus, always, as long as I can remember. But he was kind of dark-skinned and looked like he was from Jerusalem. So when I went to school and there's this blonde, blue-eyed Andy Gibb guy, I was very confused.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that was a confusion for me because I could see things, and in school they teach you about mythology and the old cultures. So when they would start off the class with all the prayers that you just automatically kind of just rhyme off, then they would start talking about, shapeshifters and Tirnanog and goddesses and warriors, and we could all get into that. Like, I could see that, feel it, and that was kind of my sanity when I was a kid, believe it or not. And then in high school, I met a priest. He was the priest in school, and I could trust him because he couldn't tell anyone. And I told him I could see spirits. I told him I could see Archangel Michael, and he kind of allowed me to be all the weird that I am.
Mm-hmm.
And we spoke earlier today. We're still friends to this day, and that's a while ago. I'm 57, so he's been quite the mentor too.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So
that was kind of your early childhood. What kind of led you to okay, let's go to the next question, because I think that'll answer it. How did you discover your life purpose, and how did that occur, right? And take that with a grain of salt, because purpose can mean a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
So once you came here to Canada and you found your mentor, how did you then go into this field of work, right? And what do you find your purpose is? Your purpose now or your purpose then?
I thought it for a long time. I did a lot of exploring, and I dipped my feet in a lot of pools and took a lot of different courses. And then on my healing journey, I had experiences that I had totally blocked out. I remembered them faintly, and they were traumatic. And it was like something that I thought, where did that come from? Where did I hide that? Like, as this is coming out in a Reiki treatment, I know it's true. I know I'm not making it up. And then, of course, I needed to know how this works. How did I put that into a place and carry it for so long? And it wasn't as bad as you would think it was, but it was enough for me to kind of put it aside. So as I opened up more with Reiki, it was mainly Reiki that opened me up. It was something that led me into psychology, and I took an evening course, like you do like 6 hours a week online or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. I needed to know exactly how the mind worked. And I'm still learning. That was when I was 32. Wow. And I'm now still taking criminal psychology because it just fascinates me.
It is wonderful to think about our brain things, right? I don't know about you, but I've been feeling the last couple of months, really feeling into my body, and I feel that, you know how you were talking about where things get stored, a place where things get stored. I'm finding that it's my body now that's talking to me and going, yeah, we got to let this go. It's time to release this.
I'm doing those somatic movements. They really work.
Yeah, that's been calling you. You know, when you're like, you keep seeing things, right? It's very kind of like it leads you here, it leads you there, and you're like, maybe I should listen.
Yeah, I enjoy
so.
Because I hang on to stuff. Sure. As much as I'm out there telling everyone, oh, burn it and get rid of it, I cling to it sometimes for life, right?
Yeah. But I think that's kind of the journey of a healer, right? We teach and we mentor and we heal or help people heal of the things that we've healed ourselves, right? Yeah. So we kind of create our own path and then go, well, this is how I did it. Here, let me show you, kind of thing. So
that's pretty much
I get it. Sometimes we're like, do this and journal and meditate, and then you're thinking to yourself like, I haven't meditated in a long time. Maybe I should get back to it.
And sometimes you'll find yourself saying something to a few people, and then you're like, that must be a message for me.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but sometimes just that mirroring between you and your client, right? Where you're like talking, they're channeling something, you're going, oh, this is for me too. Okay, got it. Got the message. I hear you, right? So, did you find that you found this purpose of being this shamanic healer just as you kept studying different modalities, or is this something that just all of a sudden happened and you knew that
a few different things? And Reiki was, and I think Steph mentioned it in her video, that Reiki for me was like I had been making this omelette, and it was going to be a nice omelette. I had lots of fixings, but I didn't have something for me to feel solid in. you know.
Mm.
So when Reiki came along, and even that first degree in Reiki, I kind of fought it a little bit.
Mm.
But, I was speaking in Gaelic when they attuned me, and like it was almost like when she attuned me, she kind of brought up other stuff. And it wasn't long after, it was about 3 or 4 months, and I was finding that I knew there was more to this. I was seeing symbols, and I was like, there's more to this. I know there is, and I couldn't get enough of it. And the lady who had given me my first attunement didn't live in Peterborough. She had lived somewhere else. So I went on the hunt, and Bernie Moran was someone who was very, very well respected and still is in the Reiki world. Like, I'm going back years. Like, I've been at this a while. There was about 5 of us in town when I started. And I called Bernie, and he asked me about my attunements and the experience. And he said, I'm not your Reiki master. I think Sandra is. So he said a few things, and then he said, she's also shaman. And I'm like, shaman, what's that mean? Write that down quick before you forget, right? So I got off the phone, and I called her right away, and she felt like someone I had known always and forever. And then when we met each other and she opened the door, it was almost like, hey, hi again. And that journey, she explained to me who I was. So in Ireland, we don't have shaman, but I didn't know that. And she handed me a book called Celtic Shaman, and it described who I was. I did all the exercises, I did all the things, and they were familiar to me. So then with Winston teaching me all the indigenous stuff and the First Nations, I could see the correlation between what I had known growing up. But I said nothing for about 2 years. I just wanted to respect, because I knew this wasn't something that everyone got to be trained in. And I knew it was a special thing. But every time we did a ceremony, every time we did a sweat lodge, every time he smoked that pipe, every time we drummed, stuff came out of me that was almost mind-boggling. I'm going through boxes at the moment. That was one of the lovely things you saw on the table in front of me. And it's a big box full of handwritten notes from back in the day. And I'm kind of putting it all together and writing books and helping people to believe in themselves. Because there were some times that I was experiencing sometimes, right, that I was a little cray-cray. It was, especially when I started to vision and remote view. That was a little bit different. And he would just push me. And I also had a really good friend. She was the first person I attuned to Reiki. She was the first Reiki master I attuned. She was kind of the first everything. She let me experiment on her. And as we were learning together, we would do a treatment, and then you'd feel like you wanted to do like a psychic surgery or something. And we would just let each other do it because we trusted. And then we start bringing Sandra in, and then we started having groups, and we kind of went from there. But it was quite the journey. So I would say of all of the things I did, Reiki is probably my number one. Quantum touch came a good second.
Oh, that's good to know. Yeah. No, I find that Reiki is kind of that modality that starts off as a journey, right? For me as well. I mean, I've done it 4 times actually through, right? Like, so I've done the master class almost 4 times, and it's just each time you learn something new. I always tell my students that Reiki goes into you and then goes from the inside out in the best way possible. But it does break you open. And if you're willing to do the journey, and if you're willing to do the work, there's no limits, right?
You can move mountains with it if you really can.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm a completely different person than I was 6 years ago when I started. So,
and there was a few people who said, "Oh, that Reiki changed you," and I'm like, and I know what you're all about now.
I know, right? Right. Well, it's supposed to change. Like, we're supposed to change, right?
Yes.
So, which brings us to our next question, which is question number 3, and it's what are some of the challenges you faced during your healing? You kind of tapped into a few during your healing journey, but which ones are the ones that kind of stand out the most, that you find that you keep that either you're still healing from, or that they were really prominent in your life that you learned a really good lesson?
I think that's probably from being a mentor and learning. Like, if you have a student that's going through a hard time, or everyone who has mentored has 1 or 2 who are a little challenging or difficult. I learned more from them in the beginning. I was a little bit more But now I'm more about stepping back. What's this teaching us? What's this showing me? How is this person teaching me to be an even better Reiki master? Even though inside you might be like, oh. But when you do the stepping back, you do realize that, Reiki does what Reiki does. And this is all a journey and it's all learning. So I would say that the ones that struggle the most, that have had the most healing to do, they show me to be more compassionate. And then, of course, ego and grace is always a beauty, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
In Ireland, they say, there but for the grace of God. I still say that old saying because it's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is true. And most of us have been through something ourselves, like lots of things. Yeah. And it's almost like there's a sign up there somewhere that says, empaths know what that's like, come to us, we can help. And I feel like that's why we go through an awful lot of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always a beacon. I find that once you realize you're an empath, you call in another empath and you help each other heal, right? In different ways. Yeah, for sure. But that's kind of what we came down here for, right? Is to experience that kind of sense of separation and then coming back to self, right? Coming back because the world needs love, right? The world needs compassion, and we are definitely a very unique kind of person that the world needs. Right? For sure. So let's follow through to the next question, which is, what is the one lesson you have learned and share with people all the time, right?
Protection. I have arthritis, and I can guarantee you I could name the date of when I picked it up. I had 2 clients who were going through it, and it's not in my family. And the type that I have is not in my family at all, and it's usually hereditary. But I cared a lot about these 2 people I was working on, and they were having a lot of relief, and I wasn't protecting myself. They went off feeling amazing, and within 2-3 weeks of me seeing these ladies, I started noticing flare-ups within me. And I still am working with it. It's been about 10 years now it's going on. And I know what arthritis means spiritually. I'm doing all the work, but sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 4 or 5 back. However, if someone is missing and I'm on a search, I can go into a field in the dead of winter for 10 hours and not feel any pain. So it's when spirit's working through me, I don't have any. If I'm doing a Reiki treatment, I don't feel the pain. If I'm teaching, I don't have pain. So if I stay more in spirit, I don't have it. I'm on really good meds now, a needle that I take, and I hold that needle because I didn't want to do that. I hold it and I pray and I do Reiki with it. And I ask that the side effects won't be too bad, and it works.
Yeah, it does.
But protection. And any class I'm teaching, any gathering, it's like smudging and bringing in the directions, and it's all about protection.
Yeah. So that's kind of going to be my following question: is what is your number one if you can, in a quick way to kind of to call in protection when you're doing any kind of Reiki healing, or even just hanging around people that feel a little wonky to you, right?
I pretend now that I'm in a snow globe. It's my newest thing. And I've been telling people that now for a while. And sometimes that snow globe needs to be picked up and shaken, and then all the pieces, discombobulated pieces, and then slowly, if you just sit and look at it, it kind of brings you into a peaceful place. But if you imagine you're in a snow globe, you have this beautiful orb of protection. It's something that I learned in old Irish witchcraft, that you put one hand down to the ground and one hand up to the earth, and you allow the energy to come in and through you. And if you do that with an orb around you, you're priceless.
Wow. Thank you.
You can feel it.
For sharing that.
You can see your energy changing in the screen. If you look around
I'm imagining it, right?
Can you see it?
I'm imagining it. Yeah. So, well, that goes to show you how strong your intent is, and even your thought form, right? That I'm quite clairvoyant. That's one of my skills. So you give me anything, and either I'm there, I see it, I feel it, like I can definitely travel through my mind.
Kathy and I had lunch last week, and we were talking about you, and within 2 minutes her phone rang, and we laughed because it was you.
I love it because you know what? I was coming home, and I had this urge to call her. I'm like, I don't know, I just wanted to talk to you. And it's funny because I was calling, and I'm like, I think she's busy. She might not be able to talk. And I said,
Oh, we were
don't worry.
talking
If you're
a while
busy, don't
ago.
worry. It was so funny. Okay, so I'm glad to know that I am definitely picking up the cues that are being sent to
Yes.
me. Yeah, no, Kathy's fantastic.
Oh, I love her.
So, yes. Um, so this question I ask every person I have on my series, and it's, what does healing mean to you? And I love it because it means something different to everybody, right?
Healing. What does healing mean to me?
Mm-hmm.
Healing for myself, healing for everybody, healing in
However you
general.
want
I
to,
feel like
yeah,
we need to know we
however you
are
want
the
to
healers.
answer that.
I feel like
Yeah.
we need to know that we can heal ourselves. We just need the right situations, and we need the right people around us. But it is possible to do on your own. It's just really lonely and hard. So you're better off to have some comrades,
Yeah.
warrior girls and boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody who maybe is attuned to that healing frequency that you're seeking too, right? Because that's going
Yeah.
to help you attune yourself. So I totally agree with that. That it's much easier when you are in a collective or you have a mentor or a healer, right?
But you know what I'm noticing here in Peterborough? There's a lot of girls that have all taken the Reiki training with me, and they're all starting to kind of come together in these collaborations. There's one yoga studio, and as they were introducing all of the new practitioners, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're all Reiki sisters. I wonder if they know that. So when I let them know that, they kind of looked around the room and went, wow. And some of them had been 10, 15 years ago, and one of them was just last year. But they're all gathering together. So that just goes to show you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Right? That everybody kind of vibrates kind of the same way. Yeah. Yeah, I'm part of the GTA Reiki community, and it's just a wonderful group of ladies, and I love it because it's a community, right? Like we come together each month and we do lots of things, and you can definitely tell that we all kind of take our cues from a mentor, and it's a wonderful community. So I understand how, like, when people vibrate together, even healers who are learning from different teachers that are part of the same community, kind of like really mesh well together. Yeah.
Yes, I agree.
Sure. So our next question is, what do you love most about your gifts and healing talent?
I think my biggest joy is watching the ones that I've seen when they came in the door where they're insecure, they don't know who they are, they know they're different, they don't know what to do with this, are they weird, are they crazy? And then watching them blossom and, bringing them with you, training them, and then standing back. Like recently, I've been going to a lot of my previous students' events, going to their studios. And it's so nice to sit back. Some of them are a little bit old teachers here, but I don't feel that way at all. Like we're more friends. But sitting back and watching them, sometimes I'm lying on the yoga mat crying because it's just like, wow, this is pretty intense. To watch them blossom and to sit there and know, like, I did a good thing. I might have made some mistakes on the journey, but this isn't one of them. That kind of a feeling.
Yeah.
Even now I'm getting all choked up.
Yeah. No, but I understand because the other day, Sunday, a friend and I had the chance to go clear a house, right? Do a house clearing.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way back, I felt such peace and such attune with myself. And I went, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I have done my job, right? Yeah. And I understand that there's this overwhelming sense of love and understanding that this is your purpose, that this is the reason why you're here, and that you're able to spread that, and then they're able to spread that, and it's just gonna go, right? Yeah. No, so I hear you. I know it's.
Mm-hmm.
I am always such a proud Reiki mama as well, right? I love to see my students thrive and do their own things, and I like to support them too. Like even when they go and get into different things, I love to attend those things anyways, right? So it's fun to kind of try new things as well. So yeah, I totally understand that. So the next question is, how do your gifts and talents make you unique? I know you wear lots of hats. So how do you find that the combination of your different talents and gifts, well, you're unique because
and
you're
might be it. That might be it, because I don't know. I saw the question and I heard it and I'm like, ooh. I think the unique thing here is I'm Irish, and when I'm at home in Ireland, the unique thing is I'm as they call me, Canadianized. So I can bring over some of the teachings I've learned here and share them. But I think the true unique part is I can kind of, like, I wore the therapist hat for a while, but I wasn't finding it helped a lot. You're not allowed to say this is what you need to do. You have to kind of bring people to the realization, and how does that make you feel? And how does that make you feel? And it was starting to make me feel like I wasn't giving them the best I could. So I put that hat away after a very short time. But I have the education and I have the experience, and now I can use the intuition with it. So instead of sitting with someone who might be struggling and doing an intake that takes 6 weeks, in an hour, spirit guides and teachers, it's almost like doing a reading, can tell me what they need, and that's where we go. So I think that might be part of it. That might be part of it, like wrapping everything up together.
Yeah. And I think that's what makes you unique and healers unique, is that it's not just one thing that we're doing, is we're doing, like, I like to call it a full body, mind, and spirit, right? That alignment that we do.
And that's what we have to heal. I wasn't feeling like I was helping people. I felt like as they went out the door, it could have been so much more. And, now when we get together, even for Reiki treatment, there's a few minutes of chit-chatting, and find out what they're going through. It's called a consultation, but usually it's a catch-up. And then afterwards, the same. So you can wrap it all in together. And quite a few girls have taken some psychology training and some counseling training to help them with that. The ones who really find that people listen to them and take their advice, and they want more information to help them even more. But you can help someone in a whole different way.
Yeah.
And it's much easier.
And sometimes it's just you vibrating at your vibration, and you just listening to that person. Yep. Sometimes they just need to talk, right?
Yep. And they don't need an answer or advice. Sometimes they just need to lay there and check out for an hour and a half.
Right. And it's funny because that's something that I've been learning the last 6 months for me. It's just learning to listen. Let's just listen. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Just listen and let them just, like, they'll figure it out, but just listening. Just
it's
giving them
interesting you say that, because that's been coming to me a lot as well. I'm a great one for giving advice sometimes when it's not asked for. You need to stop doing that. Yeah.
Right. No, I hear you. I hear you too, because I think that's the we're self-aware, right?
Because we know,
especially if you've had some psychology.
And we have this knowing. We know what they need.
Right, but I can tell you what
they do ask us.
Right. Yeah, no, but I hear you sometimes. Like lately, I've been like just kind of really tuned into spirit and psychic, and then I'm like, okay, sorry, is that okay if I tell you what I'm seeing? Right? Because I'm just like, blah, 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 and I'm like, wait a minute, maybe they don't want to know this. Like maybe they're just want to kind of continue, and I was like, so it's that too.
It's of it all, right?
Right. Because it's new to me, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm super connected. And I can see this, and then so because it's fun for me. It's not like it's not a game, but it's like.
But it's similar. It's like playing.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, for sure. So, what are some of the projects that you're working on right now? I know that you've done quite a few posts lately with events coming up.
Yeah, I have so many at the moment. I have been doing the criminal psychology. I've been studying and working on becoming a private investigator, because I work a lot on cold cases, missing people, and I don't always know the proper methods to follow. So sometimes I would like to know more than I do. So the private investigator course is beckoning. But I've also recently been drawn back to some of the old therapy and helping with recovery from drugs and alcohol and mental health. Mm-hmm. And at the moment, I'm offering a lot of my services in a place called Right to Heal in Peterborough. And when I rent the room, the money goes towards Right to Heal. Oh, and wonderful. The people coming in are being trained. We're doing Reiki and goddess workshops and all kinds of things there. We're also going to start bringing in other practitioners, as many as we can get, and having holistic fairs and retreats, like day retreats. So that's kind of been a passion for a long time. I've wanted to help these people for quite a while, and I had some other things I was doing, and then I had to sidetrack a little bit. I'm writing books. I'm doing too much at one time, so I have to kind of. I'm trying to do
hear
it all
you.
at one time. So I'm putting the private investigator thing a bit to the side. Plus, I have to get more in shape to do that, and I can wait.
No, but I hear you when that full moon comes in, I'm like, woo, like 1,000 ideas. And it's like, then I have ideas
I've
for
had 2
every
weeks
week.
of it. It's been crazy. So I'm
I
putting
know.
together a lot of programs and stuff, but yeah, it's been a crazy 2 weeks.
It's exhausting, right? But I know that you also have Reiki. You're going to be teaching Reiki soon as well. In
Pretty much
the weekends.
every Wednesday.
Okay.
So I have a big group at the moment of Reiki masters, about 8 of them, and we do a lot of the videos and the theory online because there's a lot of them scattered around. And then we get together and we do the attunements and all the teachings and everything in person. So we have a bunch of the Reiki masters coming in, and we have first and second degree. So they sit in on the classes if they're going to be teachers, and we all get together. The last gathering was amazing. We had the massage table in the middle of this beautiful sanctuary in the church. You got to come down. You should come down, check it out.
Definitely.
So there's all kinds of Reiki. And then we're going to be doing Reiki on animals in March, and angelic Reiki. Have you ever experienced angelic Reiki?
No, I have not. You know what? I've also been curious about animal Reiki as well. It's been
it's something
calling me. I'm like, I have a bunny, but I'm like, now that I can kind of hear what animals are saying. I'm like,
They love it. They really do.
Yeah.
I had a dog, Lily, and she was hit by a car, really, really badly injured, and they didn't expect her to even make it. And everyone sent Reiki. It was like my Facebook went on fire because Lily was this big, adorable socialite. You know, she was on every picture I ever took. And people sent her Reiki from all over the world. And in 2 weeks, she got that bandage off and just took it out the door and down the stairs. And she lived for 3 more years after that. She was just an amazing example of what Reiki can do.
Right? Yeah.
Even the day she was born, the girls who had her, who were breeding her, she wasn't breathing when she came out, and they were Reiki girls I had trained, and they did Reiki on her. So as she came into the world, she started getting Reiki. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. Yeah. And I do find too that healers tend to have a Reiki pet. Like if they have pets, there's usually one of them that like
be the one of all of them.
Or for sure. Yeah. So that's something that interests me. Yes, Kathy, definitely road trip. She put road trip? Yeah, totally.
For sure.
All right. So with that, I would like to also ask you, what services do you provide at the moment and why? Because I know you have a long list of what you do, right?
But I haven't been doing all of it. I actually stepped back from teaching for a few years, and I thought, well, I'll retire from that. I've got enough out there teaching. And as soon as you say that, you know what happens.
I know, everybody wants to.
Now it's mainly readings. It's mainly readings, and I do mainly phone readings at the moment. During COVID, I found that the phone readings actually helped my energy. I didn't deplete as much as I do when I meet people.
Wow.
And it's not that it takes anything out of me, but after the reading on the phone, it's literally like I hang up the phone, it's done.
You can really disconnect, right?
So I do readings in person again, but not as often. Mainly, I'm doing goddess work and a lot of shadow work. We have to disguise it in the descriptions or they won't show up. A lot of soul retrieval, a lot of...
good. You know, that's one of the keywords to not put it in your chat hashtag. Got it. Good. Thank you.
If you say, bringing forth your light, that means you're dealing with your shadow. But if you say, shadow work, they're like, oh, I'll do that later.
Yeah, right. It's true. It's true. So you're doing readings, and I know you're quite active on Instagram, right? So I keep seeing your posts of different things.
I'm learning. Actually, my friend Liz from Witchy Ways, her and I are going to do barter for teaching me how to use social media and Reiki.
Hey, that's great. I think bartering is wonderful.
I set it up that anything I shared on Facebook would go onto Instagram. Other than that, I'm not very good at it. I'm going to have to learn.
Yeah. Well, it's a skill, right? I'm still learning as well. As you can see, I've been talking to myself this whole time. We'll
You
work it
wouldn't
out.
know, even though
No,
I'm
I know.
looking right at you, and it looks like looks like you can see me.
Well, I think energetically, I can probably see everybody. I can feel you. I can feel you. I can feel your spirit. I can feel your spirit. So, with that said, where can people find you and get a hold of you?
The best way to reach me is through Facebook. I have a few different pages, but the main one is Fiona Newman. The other one is the Healing House School, so it's the name of the school and the teaching aspect of it. And on Instagram, I think it's fiona.newman as well, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But they could text me as well at 705-808-3732. I'm not great about answering the phone because if I'm doing a reading or someone's around, I don't answer the phone. But I will get back with texts.
Right. So text a text message or a DM, a direct message, things like that. Wonderful, Fiona. Well, thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Nope, I think we covered it all. It was fun.
Yeah, I think
you got me
you
thinking
did a pretty good job.
about a few things.
Yeah. Now, does anybody on the live have any questions for Fiona?
Lily was precious. Yeah, Kathy met Lily.
Yeah. So I'll just give them time to write down like questions if they have any. Hi, Francis. So thank you so much. Like I already told Kathy when we talked after that day when I called you were with her. I'm like, can we like go meet Fiona? She seems really interesting.
Yeah, we should. We should
to meet
get
her
together for sure.
For sure. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure. I always have so much fun in these, and thank you. I'm honored that you're here, and I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to do some fun stuff with you. And thank you everybody for being here, for showing up, for watching. And I will be posting this on my Instagram, but also I'll be posting on my YouTube channel. And I do have kind of a giveaway coming along with that, so just pay attention. I'm going to be posting that as well. But you can find me on Instagram, and you can find Fiona. I will tag her as well, so then you have her information.
Great,
love you so much, Kathy.
Love you too. I can see. She's the only messages I can see.
Oh, okay. So
take care. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are most welcome, and hopefully I'll get to see you soon. So have a great night. Thank you so much again. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.